Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matt and welcome to another Minecraft tutorial. In today's video we are going to be building up the outline of the towers that come up the outside here and continuing that on into the spire that comes all the way up to the top of the base there, and we're going to be adding all that foliage that we never got to add to the ruination around here. So without further ado, let's get on and start the tutorial. To start off our towers here, we want to come to one of our diagonal walls and find these two central pillars of smooth stone. We're going to be using smooth stone, cobblestone, stone and stone bricks for this, by the way. From these two central pillars we want to count out 1, 2, 3, 4 coming out in a diagonal like that. These aren't actually going to be left here, by the way. These are just temporary blocks so we can see where our gap between our tower and our wall is going to be. After we've counted out those 4 blocks as a gap, we're going to put our 2 pieces of smooth stone down there, so we have 4 block gap, and then this is going to be the edge of our tower. We're going to have 3 blocks like that, and then 2 more in a diagonal. These can be any blocks here that we're doing. I'm just using cobblestone, but it doesn't matter which of these you use for the base of this tower. And we're going to build around like that so that we have 2 bits of smooth stone, 3 bits of one of these, or any of these other stone. You can use any of these or any combination of these you want. 2 more, and then 3, 2 more, and so on, until we end up with an outline of the tower that looks like that. Once we have done that, we want to build up these 2 pieces of smooth stone on each 4 of those edges to be the same height, not as this central one, but of the one out from it, so to be the same height as these. So we're going to have 4 pillars of smooth stone coming up to this height at these 4, I guess, corners, you could say, of these outside little towers. Once we've done that, we need to take each of these walls and bring them up to the same height so that we fill in these gaps. And I'm going to be doing that with my auto scroller on so that we get a nice randomized texture effect going all the way up there. Oh my goodness, this looks so much more solid now that I've filled that in. That was just a little jab at Mumbo there, the way he talks about his base in his videos, in case you can tell. Anyway, the next stage before we go on and build the rest of these 4 towers is we want to add a little bit of ruination to these. So the first step is we're going to leave a 1 block gap between that main wall, and we're going to build up just a pillar of stone bricks going all the way up to the top of it like this. Once we've got that, we're going to place in somewhat randomly on the blocks on either side of this. Some will be stone bricks, some will be stone brick slabs. And we basically want areas where it is 1 block wide like this. We want areas where it's 2 blocks wide either to that side or to that side. And we want areas where it's 3 blocks wide. As I said, some of this will be stone bricks, some of this will just be the slabs. It's up to you where and when you use this. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill this in all the way to the top here. And I'll see you once I've done that. There we go. Now you can probably see this best if I stand off to the side at an angle like this. You can see how I've done that on both sides. So I have this kind of funny 3 wide random looking shape here. And the last thing to do is to go up this central block of the gap here. And we're going to just place in some oak fences like this. Again, this is pretty random the way I'm doing this. I'm just placing in 1 or 2 or 3 bits of fence at a time here, fairly randomly, leaving some gaps. And then we got 1 more at the top there. And then that is 1 side all done. This is the way Mumbo has ruined it in his, and I think it looks pretty cool. And I'm now going to go around and do that on the other 3 sides. So once you've done that, it's going to look a little something like this. And I've gone ahead and done all 4 of the towers. So it's now time to start our big diagonal bits going up into the spire. The outline for the spire is going to be coming up from each of these 4 bits of ruins on the edge of our towers. And we're going to start with the underside of that's the underside of the spire, which is going to be coming up from these 2 bits closer to the middle, and then we'll come to the outside here and we'll do the top. So to begin with, we want to come to this end of this part of the ruins, and we're going to build up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then from this central block next to that one we've just built up, we're going to build up 1 and out 1 and build up another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. From each of these top blocks, we're going to extend it 2 further that way towards the middle. So like that. And then we're going to come to this central block here, go out, go up 1 and 2 across. So we now have 3 of these, and we're going to continue that until we have a total of 6 of these coming up and diagonally like that, including these 2 which are part of the tower. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then we want 4, 5, and 6. We're then going to come to this middle block of that topmost piece we've just made. We're going to come out and up 1 more time, and this time rather than coming 2 more this way, we're just going to come 1 more, then across and up 1 last time, and then these 2 bits on the end here we're just going to build up a little bit, as those are going to be the start of the first section that comes straight up off this first diagonal. And what we want, counting from this bottom block here, we want this to be a total of 30 blocks high. So we've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the moment, so we need to put another 25 blocks on top of this. There we go. As you can see, I have made both of these 2 blocks on the end of this diagonal to be 30 blocks high. So this end one starts 1 higher than that one, and at the top here you can see it finishes 1 higher. So they are both a total of 30 blocks. At the top here we're going to do the same as we did down there, bring each of those 2 across, and we want these to be another 6 bits like this, including these 2, so we've got another 4 of these to do. Remember, we're coming out and up from the middle one and 2 across, and repeating that, whoops, until we have 6 of these. Once we have those 6, we're then going to repeat again what we did for this. So across and up from the middle, across and up like that. Start building those up, and this time I believe we want each of these not to be 30. We're only going to go slightly shorter, and they're going to be 24 blocks high. And then the same again for the diagonal, 1 last time. This time we're going to go slightly further on the diagonal. We want a total of 10 of these, including these 2. So from those 2 you've already will have built up. From this we want a further 8. That is then the first part of that outline built, and we're going to basically do the exact same again from this corner of this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the only difference here is that rather than coming this way with these, we're now coming that way with those, so that we are still pointing into the middle. So I'll see you once I've done this all the way up to the top level with that. That then is the underside outline of the spire done. We now need to do the outside / top side outline of it, which is going to start from that corner and that corner. The main difference here is that, well, here we went up 6 above this level. Here we're doing 10, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the same on that corner. And we're going to go out here and up to that level. And the same there. And then from here we're pretty much doing something identical to what we did here. This bit here needs to be a 6 block diagonal going up like this, and then 2 blocks on the end going up for 30. Another 6 block diagonal up for 24, and then the last diagonal, because we're set back and we want to come all the way forward to meet this bit, I believe the last diagonal is 16 blocks. So I will see once I've done all of that, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, so I've done both of those. This top diagonal did indeed turn out to be a total of 16 blocks, and as you can see from these pillars I put on the end here, this finishes directly above where this one does, so that they line up exactly. And I guess we now go and do the same for all 4 of these. Now guys, as you are building these up, they are going to meet in the middle like this. So as you can see, this side here is a perfect mirror image of the one over here, and they don't quite touch in the middle. Once you get to the top of this one, this is the underside that I've just done here, there's going to be a 1 block gap in the middle. So you can kind of use this as a bit of a test for yourself when you build up the second tower, that you've done everything right. That if you have, when you reach this, you should have this 1 block here with everything else being a perfect mirror image going down there. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep going here, and I'll see you once I've done a bit more. And we are done. We have all 4 of those built up, and there will be a little bit more to do around the top here, but I'm not quite 100% on that yet, not quite got it all worked out. So we're going to leave that for now. And the last thing we're going to do in this episode is we're going to come back down to the base here and we're going to have a look at all that foliage type stuff that we never got around to last episode. So this is the sort of thing we are looking for on our ruined walls as far as the foliage is going. Now this is not the sort of thing that you just build in a very set way. It's very much at random and you build it a little bit at a time, constantly checking how it's done. So rather than going block by block for this bit, I am going to have a look in more detail at some of these little bits I've done, and I'm going to show you the sort of techniques that I've used to build them. So the majority of the foliage looks a little bit like this, where at the top there is some kind of little bush bit, particularly nestled into places where there's a little bit of a corner for it to nestle into, and then hanging down from that is more foliage. So it comes down in a kind of narrowing, almost like a vine would, hanging down like that. And it's quite hard to tell. It's a fairly subtle effect, but I've actually used two types of leaves here. I've used the jungle leaves and the oak leaves, and that just is, it's a subtle effect that helps to break up the texture a little bit. And you don't have to use jungle and oak. I would recommend using whatever feels right for your setting. So like if you've built this in the Arctic, then you're probably going to want you to use spruce leaves, but I would definitely recommend using at least two textures of leaves to get a slightly better texture on that. And now having a look up here at the top, this bit, rather than hanging down, we can kind of see how it comes up and wraps around and then wraps around the corner here. And this sort of thing works really well for this top area here, and particularly at these corners. It works really well to have it wrapping around like that. And then last of all, we have these areas where there is actually a bit of wood for the leaves to be growing on. So I've used jungle wood here, and that's jungle wood, not jungle logs, because I don't want to have the sawn off log effect on the end. I've got a few oak slabs placed on the ends here, and I've done the same over here. And then oak buttons, just very, very few oak buttons down here as well. Those just add a little bit more texture to that trunk of the tree there. The other point with the places where there is wood is I am going to have those in one of two places. Either down here on the ground where it's like literally a tree growing up the side of the wall, or here where it's in the underside, and again like I did with these bushes up here, it's kind of nestled into a corner somewhere where wood would feasibly be expected to grow. So I don't have any of this wood just slapped right in the middle of the wall where we probably wouldn't actually see it in real life. Hopefully that's enough for now for you guys to be getting on and starting to put some foliage on your own builds. If you do have any questions, then don't hesitate to let me know either in the comments or in the Discord. But this video is already way too late as it is, so I'm going to leave that video here. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, smash that like button and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any more future videos. But until next time guys, I've been Matt, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.